I have something else for all of us to consider. And this has been coming up in conversations with friends. So I feel like it could be very helpful. Sometimes on this journey, we're going through different things and we think, oh, that's just my ego. That's my ego. That's my ego wanting attention. That's my ego. And if you're here, I have news for you. You're a very heart-centered person. I don't think there's many of the people that get labeled as narcissistic. I don't think a lot of that type of people are joining a program to heal their inner child. So, just in case you didn't know this, you're probably a very heart-centered person. And it doesn't mean that, here's a topic for another video, but it's been coming up in conversations too. All of us, or most of us, or maybe the ones that are willing to accept it, we have narcissistic tendencies. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we all want, like, that's a whole nother topic, but being able to accept those parts of ourselves might be exactly what we need, just to integrate them into our whole being and not forcing us to be just full like, oh, love and light 24/7, 365 days a year. It's perfectly beautiful to welcome and appreciate, acknowledge, respect, honor, love the parts of ourselves that maybe we want them less than the parts of ourselves that we want to cultivate more of, and the parts of ourselves that we want to show people. So that's just a little aside that I wanted to share. But sometimes when we think of, oh, that's just my ego, that's my ego, I invite you to consider the possibility that that's just your inner child seeking the attention that it didn't feel like it received in the past. So there's nothing wrong with noticing behaviors, patterns, tendencies that we have where we're seeking attention and we think that's ego, not realizing that that could be the inner child just screaming for attention and asking and begging and seeking that attention and love and appreciation and compassion that it didn't receive as a child, that's asking for it now. And we think it's ego, so we try to push it away and heal that, transcend that, overcome that. And the message that we're sending to our inner child is one of neglect and abandonment. So I just invite you to consider the possibility that even those parts of ourselves that we've judged as ego, as anything, even the patterns, like I said, the tendencies and that kind of thing, what if that's just your inner child? And what if you can start to develop a much different and deeper relationship with those parts of yourselves? Can you start a conversation with that part of yourself? Like, wow, like, I'm sorry that I've judged you so much, that I've tried to push you away thinking you were my ego and neglecting you every single time that you came up, not realizing you were just asking for love and attention. I like the phrase from Jeff Foster when he said, all your emotions, your wounds, and everything that's coming up is not coming up to be healed. It's coming up to be held. So just taking one letter out of that word and it's a whole different energy. Because that's another message that we might be sending out to our inner child. Like, oh, you need to be healed. I need to heal you. I need to help you change and be different. I don't like the way you are right now. I need to heal you, not realizing that it might be happening the other way around. The inner child is becoming our own guru, our own coach, our own guide, therapist, any label you want to give it. And I know people might have a negative connotation to the word therapist, so I use it in purpose, because what's wrong with therapy? But I just wanted to invite you to this, what could be a beautiful realization. If it resonates, you don't need to take it in if it doesn't resonate, but if it resonates, maybe the parts of yourselves that you were trying to push away, maybe there's a reason they're coming up. Maybe they never felt welcomed and appreciated and accepted and loved and cared for. I was doing a program and a friend of mine was part of it, and he shared such a beautiful analogy when like different parts of ourselves come up, right? And I have the beautiful qualities about Gonzalo that I love showing you and sharing with friends and family and people that I meet. And I have the qualities about Gonzalo that sometimes I try to hide a little bit, and I hope they don't come out in public and with friends and family, maybe women, and I always try to maybe hide those, right? He shared an analogy that I thought was beautiful. It's like kind of being out in the beach, a little campfire, or just hanging out anywhere, and you're hanging out with different groups of friends. And let's say I'm hanging out with 5 friends, and maybe those friends metaphorically are the parts of me that I love and that I want to show people, right? Maybe that I'm compassionate, loving, caring, like all those things that I'm hanging out with here. And then another friend walks by, and that's actually a quality that I don't like about myself, and I haven't been able to welcome and accept and appreciate and love. So I'm just trying to push it away. So it's like kind of walking by. But what if we can now be like, oh no, come here, come hang out, like come hang out with us, and like coming into this beautiful circle now, where you're welcoming those parts of ourselves that feel neglected and abandoned and rejected. And we just invite them to our little party, a little get together, a little campfire experience with the other parts of ourselves. And that to me is integration and becoming a whole, a more wholesome being, where we're not trying to push things away and just try to create the perfect version of ourselves based on the things that we like, trying to hide the things that we don't like, and we are able to welcome everything about ourselves. Just some food for thought. More below. Love you.